So in theory, the beans should be good to go today. And that's probably just about all that's going to be good to go. Because the ground is still extremely wet. It's actually, like, it's wild how wet everything still is in the fields. But people started on beans yesterday. They were 14.4. We were kind of waiting on some fields to ripen up. They look a little bit better now. So I think we're going to have to try. We want to keep making progress. I hate just sitting, waiting. And like, I like the time off, but like, I also like being done harvest. So I'm probably gonna get a moisture here in like 3 hours. Until then, combines are in pretty good shape. I got my auto header height working a couple days into beans. I really need to get dads going now. We did all the rigid sensors and they checked out all good, but last year I fixed some wiring on them. And this is my mistake, but I think I flipped the wires around. So instead of reading 4.5 volts when it's hanging down and 0.5 volt when it's up, it's flipped. So I got to change those wires around. I think that'll stop his head from diving down right away. And then I can inspect the float sensors. So we'll do all that right now and try and get this thing working, because I think that'll be beneficial. Problem when it's super sticky, you really do have to assist it, because it can't put the pressure on the ground that it needs to adjust itself sometimes. So you kind of gotta babysit it a bit, but it'll still help. So we're gonna open up the side shields, we'll lift up the header and get working on those sensors. And hopefully we can get something figured out. When you're doing beans, you really want to see some cracking on the top, but that is all, so sticky. So it's definitely going to be interesting. But we'll see how it goes. We'll do what we can, and at least we'll try. We are quickly just going to double check our sensors, make sure we know which one is the issue. I think it's that one, whichever the first pin is, because they should be reading 4.5 like that. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. And that one's good. So it's number 1, which I believe is that first band. So we will throw it up and get it to hold. Ah, oh, come on. Stick. There we go. Okay. Oh, my head. Okay. Now if we check number 1, it should show like 4.8, 4.5. 3.4. It's close enough. We know it's that one. So we're gonna pull that apart a little bit and change our wiring around so that it starts reading properly. I'm gonna have to get some tools, because we'll just take these upper bolts out, lift this up, get in here, unhook it, and then we'll just switch the pins around instead of rewiring it, because I wired it wrong. This will be quicker, I think. Here's our sensor. We'll get it unplugged. I don't have much extra room on that wire. We'll see if I can't maybe pull a bit through. Oh, it's clamped on here and here. I'll undo those clamps. I need a bit extra space on there, but then we'll be able to pop this cover off, pop the pins out, and rewire it, hopefully. We got the pins switched around. The hardest part is just pulling the pins out, because I don't have proper pin connecting tools. So now we're gonna go test it, see how it works. If it does work, we'll close this up and start looking at our flex sensors. Okay, so I messed around with the wiring on that sensor for a while, and nothing I did made it better. A lot of what I did made it worse. So, and I really couldn't picture myself wiring it wrong. Like, it's all color coordinated, and I'm fairly competent. So, I don't think it's that. I really don't think it's possible to install the sensors wrong. So I called the dealer, and I'm waiting for a call back from one of the guys there who really knows his stuff. But what I've done in the meantime is that all those sensors underneath, they all read the same when they're tucked or when they're hanging down. And this one, when it's tucked up, reads the same as those ones hanging down. So I tucked that one up, then I did a header relearn, and it stopped it from diving. So then now I've started... I did the header relearn, and then I put it in float mode for flex, and it seems to be working pretty well. So we're gonna leave it at that, because technically in flex mode those bands don't do anything, although they seem to still make it want to dive if there's something wrong with them. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take the bands off and bolt the sensors up so that they know they're not supposed to be reading. Takes a lot of work, and it really doesn't gain you much from what we've done. So we've stopped doing that, and we just let them hang down. Worst thing that happens is they kind of get bent or warped or whatever. If you're in float and you kind of back up, whatever, it'll be fine. So I've gone over this. It looks good. I know my combine's in good shape. I'm going to check the knives on my header. Then I'm going to get everything set up along the road so that we can fuel everything up, because we can't drive the truck in here. It's a mess. Using float mode just on the bare ground that we've already cut didn't work very well, but I'm thinking it should work a bit better when we get into the actual beans. Usually it does, because you don't have tracks or anything that you're driving over. So we'll get some of this stuff set up, ready to be fueled up when my guy gets here. And we'll do checking oils, grease quickly, and then I'll get a sample here in the next hour. Here's when having tracks and four-wheel drive will really help, because it is soft. And we'll be picking up a lot of mud, but thankfully we won't be making huge ruts that a wheeled combine would make. Also, I just heard from my guy at the dealership. We kind of walked through the issues we're having with that one sensor, and I think we've come to a solution. He sent me a chart about the different positions of a sensor that's similar to the one that I'm dealing with, not the one exactly. But I could install the sensor 180 out only if I changed the spring, because then you can pull the whole shaft out and you could actually install the shaft that the sensor installs in 180 out. And if that's the case, the voltages would be flipped, and that's exactly what's happening. And I did change that spring, so I'm not going to do it now, because I think I've got it dealt with enough that we can get through beans, because we're not really relying on those sensors specifically. But now I know what to address off season, or when I have some time again in between crops or rain delay, which is good. I feel good that we've got, at least an idea I can look at. I don't think I installed it wrong, but at this point it's the only thing that makes sense. So I'm hoping I did. So now we're fueling up. I had to put everything along the road so that we don't have to drive in the field. I'm gonna do my greasing, and then we will, I think we found one broken knife on my dad's header, and then we're gonna get a sample and see where the moisture's at. So I just kind of did a little cut here to get a moisture, and oh man, it is so bad. I really think we're gonna need today, which looks like a pretty good drying day, to make things happen for tomorrow. It's just, it's so sticky. You can't put any pressure on the ground. You're doing a terrible job. You're collecting mud. I don't think it's gonna happen. Maybe the moisture will be too high anyways, and then we won't feel as bad leaving it. But yeah, it's just hard to do anything when it's so sticky. So the moisture tested like 15.1, which I'm sure in an hour or two it would be down enough that we could go and the elevators would take it. but it is just so wet. I think we would make more of a mess of the field, leave too many beans behind, and the progress we make would be so slow that it just wouldn't be worth it. So we're gonna finish going over things here, change a couple knives and bolts and that sort of thing. I gotta clean the mud off my header because I was pushing mud like nobody's business when getting a sample. And then we're gonna head to the main yard. We'll start on our water tank project, I think. I'll get a guy working on that, and then I'll probably start working on the sunflower header. I'm getting ready to leave my place here, and I know I've got a engine, there it is, in here somewhere. So there's my little 1-inch water pump. We'll grab that and a few of our fittings and stuff and take that with us. So a lot of people don't grow sunflowers, but they are the most likely crop to burn down a combine. And it's because they've got high oil content, a lot of material, it turns into a lot of dust. And it just likes to get on the engine, exhaust manifold starts smoldering, the engine fan blows it everywhere, and then you got issues. So the way that we combat that is we blow the combines off daily. Some crops are more prone to catching fire than others, so sometimes we'll blow them off multiple times a day. Keep the dust off of things. We always have water on hand and in the field in case we have an issue. And then a big thing is we've been trained to just keep our nose open. No matter what way the wind is going, you know, whether you're heading that way or doing a corner, at some point you will be able to smell wind blowing up the back of the combine, and then you're just kind of keeping an eye on if it smells like smoke. And combine fires smell a certain specific type of way, as well as the grain cart driver is always driving by everything, unloading it, so their job is to keep an eye on it and keep a nose open so that we don't have issues. But it's always interesting, and usually a combine always is smoldering at some point throughout the harvest. We've lost a couple combines to sunflowers, but not in a number of years, and hopefully it stays that way. I got my tote, we're gonna bring it up front, and it's got a bunch of crap in it. We're gonna try and get that cleaned out and get that pump running and see how things work. He's working on our tote over there, and before I start working on the header, I just want to quickly see if this thing, how well it's gonna run. It's been a little while. I think this is the choke here. We got it in turtle. I mean, it's a Honda, it should run nicely, but it also hasn't run in a very long time. Is there a primer? There it is. Oh, we're pumping fuel now. Here we go. A tiny little pump. Look at that. It's so small. Sounds like your everyday Honda Civic. Nice. This thing's cool. I like it. Be interesting to see how much flow it's got. So I got some questions, and this is one of the sunflower headers that we are running. It's technically called an all crop because you can do any crop with it that's planted on 30-inch rows, whether that's intercrop wheat, beans, sunflowers, corn, because it just runs along the row. It's got a knife. It'll cut whatever comes into it, and then it pulls it in with the belts. So this is one style, and this type of header you have to run with the rows and pick up rows specifically. That's what this does. Whereas here, this red header is a pan header, which is very different in how it operates. Forgive the wind noise, but a pan header, oftentimes they're just converted from a regular bean header into a pan header. You take the reel off and you bolt pans on, or you can buy dedicated pan headers, which, you know, then you have a reel on them, which just works a little bit different to pull the crop in, and it's got all these pans bolted to the cutter bar, which is a normal knife underneath there. And these you have to run at a diagonal, kind of like beans. You know, you do a 5, 7, 10 degree angle in the field, and you specifically don't run with rows with these because there is a point every 9 inches, and so then it's just kind of funneling the sunflowers wherever they are into the rows. and the pans are at a bit of an angle, so anything that falls off is caught in these lips and it shakes down into the trough, and then it goes into your combine. This is a 30-foot pan header. That other header is a 20-foot 8-row sunflower or all crop header. And people are really either full pan or full row crop. There's benefits and drawbacks to each. But we've been pretty impressed with the pan header, and it allows a lot of flexibility in the field. It just really doesn't work well when you've got down sunflowers. Then you need something like that all crop to get in there and pick them up. We bought this one 2 or 3 years ago. It was on a Case IH flagship, and I converted it over to a claws machine. You can see what I did here. Same sort of thing. You just weld in your hooks and away you go. It's been a fairly good header. Definitely had some issues, but I think we worked them out last year, and hopefully this year it just works well. So these are old. They've been around forever, and they were always kind of the go-to. But now you can buy Sunmasters, which are the same principle design, but they got a bunch of big improvements, because the biggest thing with any sunflowers is header loss. They shake, some of the seeds drop off. This doesn't catch any of those seeds. That's why I like the pan header. So a Sunmaster, same principle, same design, but instead of the cones being tapered like that, they're concaved, and they also catch anything that drops off and pushes it into the header. So those would be like the ideal, but they're expensive to get into. All right, well, surprise. Like any farmer, we've changed our minds. I'm gonna head back to the field now, and we're gonna see if it can go, because on my way in, I saw a lot of people going. And there's rain in the forecast for next week, and we want to get the beans done before rain hits again, because when that ground is soft, it sucks. So I'm gonna head back there, try. If it works, good. If it won't, then we'll pick back up tomorrow. It's been a good drying day for sure. It definitely seems a bit drier out than 3 or 4 hours ago when I took that sample. I'm sure it'll still be slow going, lots of mud, but hopefully we can make some progress. We're gonna try things, and if the next hour goes very poorly, we will just quit. But here goes nothing. Oh, I gotta get a new key. This one's all kinds of screwed up. There we go. Nice. If nothing else works, at least this is a good example of how messed up farmers are. Because 3 hours ago, I thought there was no way, we'll just leave it. We won't even try again later. And then I'm driving to the farm, and oh wow, there's 3 guys going. And then I get a call from my dad. Oh, there's another person going. Okay, so there's 4 or 5 people within 3 miles of us going on beans. I guess we can go on beans then. So here we are. Now we're gonna try. It's just like that one video. One guy drives by in a sprayer. Load the sprayer. What are we spraying? Everything. Oh, what's wrong with us? Well, actually, there's a lot wrong with us because we're farming, but hey, we all love it, right? It would also appear as though my RangePoint GPS subscription has expired, so now I'll be on SBAS, which sucks. I mean, we'll be having low GPS quality, but hopefully it still works. It's interesting, you know, when we first bought the combine, we got our subscription right away. And every year it expires a little bit farther into harvest, then it takes a few days to get it reinstalled, the new one, and then next thing you know, in a year or two, it'll expire after harvest, and then we'll have all kinds of time. I made it. Made it 50 feet. Oh. It's gonna be so bad. We'll try for a bit, but I don't know if it'll go. I'm also in a low spot, but what do? You can't really drive through them. You can't go around them. So something about me, I want to start on one of the sides and work my way through, but I don't think that's going to happen with how wet it is. And this side, there's a lot of ditches, and that far side is still pretty wet. So I think we're going to just cut straight out that way, maybe 100 feet, and then start doing our passes kind of in the middle of the field. And maybe that'll get us going for today. And then by tomorrow or the day after, we can finish up these really wet spots. I think there's a way. When there's a will, there's a way. You just got to figure it out. So we're going to go that way a bit and go from there. Well, that was more promising. It looked good. Although we keep plugging up in this one spot. So I don't know. It's not even... Yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to clean this mud off here good. Hopefully it'll start skidding nicely. But that one, like, we actually could have gone there. So I'm hopeful. We made it that far, and it's looking promising. I did catch some mud here, but I think it'll work. I may just have to adjust my springs on either side to take a bit more pressure off the ground. And then it may go. We're gonna try and play around and get dialed in at least. Well, it would appear as if we're going somewhere. We are going with the wind, which sucks. So it makes it very hard to see, and you really have to pay attention, because once you catch any mud, you're done. But it seems like this is working marginally better. Honestly, it's those guys right there that started combining. They're the reason I'm combining, so thanks a lot, guys. That's promising. I mean, I did most of that pass. Well, I did pretty much the whole thing without stopping. I got some mud here on the headland, which is pretty typical. So we'll clean this out, do a few passes on the headland so we can turn around and then keep going. And the problem with this stuff being so sticky, there's just absolutely no forgiveness. As soon as you get mud, you're done. Whereas if it's dry, you get mud, you can back up and keep going. But now you just have to get out and clean it off. Finally made it to the other side of the field. We are dragging on that side. It's just the nose cone, but I'm gonna have to get out and clean it. But I took a big scoop of dirt in a ditch, and once you do that, then everything kind of gets sticky and tacked up again. So it's not going fantastic, but it's going, I guess. We'll see how the next little while turns out and how long we decide to go like this. This is reminding me of that field of barley. And I knew once we got that rain that it was gonna be bad. And yeah, I mean, we're right on the edge of pushing it, but I really want to get some of this stuff done. We got a schedule to keep, you know? The problem is once you get built up with mud, like on here, then you're not on the poly, and then it just wants to keep building up. And then you got to make sure you're clean underneath here on your guards. All that junk will just keep building up unless you get it off. I keep dragging on this side, and it looks like, I don't know, in one of those rocky fields. Actually, I know exactly. We had a video of it when I pulled up that big rock. I think that kind of wrecked the skid plate and is catching. So we're gonna try and smooth it out a bit. It is terribly hard to see with the dust going this way, because those corners right there is exactly what I need to see, and I can't see nothing. But we already started this field, and we already started going this direction, so now the wind is with us. But can't really change it now. So I got fed up with all the mud we were catching, and I decided to roll the header back a little bit, and I think it's helped quite a bit. Hopefully it continues to help. But so far we're making decent progress, so I'm happy we're going. What are you playing with, buddy? Just spinning the dial. Gotcha. I hear you, buddy. That sounds pretty fun. Yeah, you can play with that dial. You just can't play with the throttle. No, don't play with that, buddy. No, that one's not the throttle, but you also can't play with that one. Sorry. See, when you're going that way, coming here, just you can't see anything with the dust. But now, when we're going back that way, you can see everything, and it's doing a good job. I'm glad we rolled that header back. And I'm sure he's happy that his auto header height's working now. I'm We just lost the pulley for our dust extraction fan. That's interesting. At least it's not important. It looks like it was cracked and it fell off, but whatever. We found it. We'll keep on going. It was definitely a slow start, but I really am happy that we started, because I mean, if we started tomorrow, things would have been a bit more dry, but it still would have been a bunch of figuring things out. Because you really take for granted how easy it is to combine on the ground when it's dry. And once it gets wet, then you have to really figure things out and fine tune some stuff, adjust your pressure, and really get it dialed in so that it can start doing a good job. But now we've been going for a while, and now we're clipping along almost like it was before. I mean, you have to be a bit more careful. Our header's set a little bit different, but all in all, we're making good progress, which is awesome. I don't know, maybe we'll get 50, 60 acres done today, which would be good. And then it just makes tomorrow that much more efficient, because all that messing around that we did today when it was on the edge and trying to get things figured out, taken care of. And tomorrow we can have a big day, because we got like 5 big days of beans. So we could potentially wrap up beans Wednesday. If nothing breaks down, which that's a whole nother issue, and if it happens, we'll take it as they come. But that would be good, because then there's rain late next week, and then we can kind of get off the ground and do sunflowers, which should be getting sprayed here any day now. And in the way of sunflower harvest, I already went over and did everything I needed to my pan header. The conversion for Dad's row crop header is coming along well. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. The one interesting thing is that the pan header and the row crop header in the same field, we're gonna have to kind of figure out how that's gonna work. Because they harvest the same crop very differently. Row crop, you have to go with the rows. Pan, you have to go diagonally and cut an angle. So I think we may just set my dad loose with his 853A, and he can just do headlands, clean up stuff, and then poke away at the far side of the field. And I'll just do it the majority of the body, and he'll just kind of clean up around. I don't know. We'll figure it out once we get in there, but I am excited to have 2 combines going in sunflowers, because with one combine, it just takes time, and that's something we don't have. I haven't checked the weather, but my guess would be, since the sun's going down, the humidity is going up, because we're starting to catch mud again, and since we're right on the edge of being dry enough, you really can notice it quite fast. So I think we'll be shut down pretty early today. But if we don't get much more done, I mean, we still had a pretty good day out here and got a lot of stuff figured out, which all in all is good, and it helps us get to our goal. Holy crap! That's an airplane right there. I'm just combining along, and they just came in here close. I went to school with her. Scared the piss out of me. I thought something was going on with the combine. Oh my goodness, that is hilarious.
That plane scare anybody else?
Oh, that is too funny.
I knew they were overspraying the boys' sunflowers, but when Amy went by like that,
that's so funny.
Yeah, it was, wow, what was that?
I think it got everyone.
I know, right? I've never seen or been
That is so funny.
Like before. Like, geez, I thought he was going to first crash into the ground into it.
That's so funny. Yeah, I thought my combine was going to blow up.
A lot. We used the mark field.
So yeah, it sounds like they're spraying our sunflowers with the plane right now, which is good. And I went to school with her. The pilot there just flew by. That's funny. And growing up, like, Dad was always TRs and New Hollands, and their farm was always John Deere, and so there was always like a little rivalry or whatever going on. It's fun, and sprays our fields with the airplane. Wild. Humidity is cranked up, and the wind, come on, the wind has died down, and it's terribly hard to see. So I just got to finish this pass, Dad's got to finish his, and then we're going to be done. But I got mud already. I just cleaned it out. Oh, I don't know. We'll see how bad it gets. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to stop again. But hey, I mean, we had a big day. Wasn't like huge in acres, but like we did a lot more than I thought we would. So that's awesome. I couldn't do it. It's just too hard to see. I guess the humidity made that big of a difference because the mud was already so wet. So it was like kind of coming from both sides. Just wasn't going well. So I'm shutting her down. Dad's gonna stop here right away, but not too bad. Hopefully tomorrow's a good drying day and not super foggy in the morning like the last few. And then maybe we can get another big chunk done. That would be awesome. Because there's no reason another 2 days, like there's no reason that we can't get this field done up by Saturday. Or on Saturday. We got a good chunk done here. We started in the middle because it was the driest, less ditches. And I think that was an overall good game plan. Probably Saturday we'll do this edge. Tomorrow I think we'll just keep working our way that way, because that side on the very far side as well is pretty wet. So by Saturday it should all be dry enough to go. But hey, not too bad. That's gonna be a full grain cart. Oh yeah. Anyone have an idea what that sound is? Every now and then, both these combines make it. It's just like a whistle. Oh yeah, top it up. Beautiful. Nice. Hey! Hi guys! My family came to see me. Awesome. Well, I'm out of here. That's gonna be a wrap. There is gonna be a lot of mud to clean off of knives tomorrow. Stuff to go over and grease. But I think we'll be able to get a big day in here. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out.